Om Jananim Sharadam Devi Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. The path of devotion to reach the Supreme, the Absolute, the God, the personal aspect of God. God is unlimited. He is the impersonal Absolute. He is the personal Ishtadevata. He is beyond all human conceptions. He is beyond Saguna, Nirguna, and all that man has till now realized various aspects of God, going through various paths to reach Him. And the two instruments that we have to reach Him, one is our own heart, love, which is the source of my existence. The other is what we see as the intellect, which is a gift of nature, which can manage life here in this world and transcend the entire existence and go beyond. The two aspects of our existence, the heart and the brain. Apart from this, the only third thing we have is Vak, speech, which links us from the depths of our being to the external most expressions. I speak, it comes from the Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikari. This is what Japa takes us to the transcendental realm. Love of God, turn towards God. The love is manifestation of Atman. When it is turned to the world, it never finds fulfillment. When it is turned to the divine, it receives all fulfillment. Similarly, intellect, when it is turned to the world, we call buddhi. When it is turned to the divine, we call it dhi, which can penetrate through the nature and take us beyond. Of all these, the intellect that is working in the world gets deeper samskaras of the worldly way of thinking, worldly way of judging. We can use it in the world to use the same thing. In the world of spirit, it becomes difficult. Everything comes question if there is a suffering. What was God doing? These questions appear in our mind. Why God did this? Why God did that? Because of the intellect. When love is turned to divine, no questions come. Everything is acceptable and everything can be transcended. We don't bother. Intellect, because it is in the field of relativity, we try to take the relativity to God, which is beyond all relativities, in which the relativity of time and space appear and disappear. The law of cause and effect is applicable only to this relative existence. Beyond it, there is no cause and effect. Behind every effect, there is a cause, is not there. There, entirely a different law works. It is the will of the divine. So, your own will, you transcend all the limitations and go. So, we see intellect becomes very difficult to enter into the reality. Similarly, speech, vak, to do japa, keeping the mind totally absorbed in japa becomes equally difficult because of the constant movements in the mind. Mind never sits alone. It goes on cogitating, and we are accustomed to think of the past, present, and future. Always either it is in the past or in the future. But to bring it to perfect, absolute present and feel the living presence and do the japa, forgetting the past and future becomes almost impossible. Even japa path becomes little difficult unless it is associated with love. So the easiest path, natural path, we know how to love. The love, wherever there is love, there is sacrifice, there is purity, there is divinity, there is joy. So love is natural expression of the self. When it is turned to God, it gets fulfillment. It is the easiest path because there is no obstruction. Love is natural. Love is manifestation of your own existence. You are flowing into it. Wherever there is love, there is peace, there is bliss. So this path becomes easy for all jivas. There may be a few qualified who has absolute self-control, who can deny the existence of body at will and feel themselves the spiritual existence. They are very few. Self-conquest is most difficult path. And the japa path also is equally good provided we can bring the mind under control. Shama, dama are absolutely necessary with japa. Here we see the path of devotion. Sri Ramchandra is explaining to Shabari, who is all-knowing, who has sacrificed and devoted her entire existence to the Lord. So here we saw Chatas Damashila Virati Bahukarama. We went through this sufficient detail. Nirata Nirantara Sajjana Dharma. This Dhamma, exercising self-control over mind, senses, Shila, to divert them towards the divine. Virati Bhavukarma, not getting engaged in unnecessary and avoidable activities so that I evolve to the state to go beyond the limitations of the activities. The karma can bring a fruit which is perishable. Anything done, nastya krita kritena, nasti akritaha kritena. Akrita, God is uncreated. Peace is uncreated. Bliss is uncreated. Eternal freedom is uncreated. It is there. It is our born right being by the virtue of being just possessing a human body. It is our born right. And to attain that, through activity is not possible. From bad acts, we go to good acts. From good acts, we go beyond acts. Durjana sajjano bhuya sajjana shanti mapnuya. Shanto muccheta bandhepyo muktaschanyan vimoche. From bad habits, by holding on to good, we give up the bad things in our life. Then holding on to the eternal, we give up even the good things. We have to go beyond good and bad. So we hold on to the divine to go beyond good and bad. So karma, whatever I do through karma action, I cannot get a thing which is beyond action. Nasti akritaha, not that it's created. Within the creation, anything created you can have, but everything within the creation is perishable. Through doings, action, krita, doing, having anything that I do and attain, whether it is secular education, whether it is any achievements in sports and this and that, progeny, my own children and my santana, or the wealth that I earn and keep, all this, whatever name, fame, power, all that which I attain through work, through activity, is perishable. It doesn't stand. Imperishable cannot be had through perishable acts. The Lord wants you to go beyond activity. When you go beyond activity, it naturally you see it is yours. You have attained the transcendental. So, Virati Bahukarma. And what are these? These, the Dhamma, Shila, and Virati Bahukarma are Nirantara Sajjana Dharma. Nirata, the Sajjana Dharma, the nature of the Sajjanas, the very nature, what they are at all times, nature is this Nirata, they are immersed in it. The self-control, the devotion to God, the devotion, they are immersed in it, Nirantara. It has been coming from ages among, it is the nature of the very race, human race, who are Sajjana, noble people. Noble people have these qualities. In these qualities they are dipped. If you touch any part of their being, ask them to speak, to talk to them, they will have total self-control. They have devotion, they have sacrifice, they have love for everything. So this we see is manifesting in them Nirata. They are immersed in it. Nirantara, not one day, 2 day. So whatever we decide, whatever we want to be, we to love for a few minutes and then we are hating someone else. Dislike, like we are moving between likes and dislikes. They have only liking, love, beyond likes and dislikes. Raga Dvesha, they are beyond Raga Dvesha. They are beyond Ahankara. When their Raga Dvesha and Ahankara are not there, there is smooth flow, Nirantara. The whole life is as if pervaded by one sacrifice and love for others. So this quality which is in the noble people, evolved people, the Sajjanas, Satta, is which is related to the eternal reality. If it is the eternal principles for a constantly changing society, eternal values for a constantly changing society. Society changes, time changes, the attitudes of people change, but the law remains the same, unchanging. The eternal principles. These eternal principles are a part of their life and existence of the Sajjana. How do you differentiate Sajjana and Durjana? Is they are eternal. The eternal values for the constantly changing society is adopted by the Sajjanas. They, according to time, changing time, these people also will change and start running after the times. But here he doesn't. He attaches himself to the eternal principles. So the Sajjana Nirantara follow this, which have, that means walk on the footsteps in which the great people have walked. You are just following their footsteps. They safely reached, so you too will safely reach in the same path. When we go live in the forest, we see sometimes especially immediately after rainy season and all, we can easily go, but we don't find the path. It's filled with greenery. The grasses grow beyond our heights, and it will be difficult to find the path in which we used to go and come. Forest it is. Then one person who is accustomed totally, some Adivasi or somebody, we see him walking the footsteps. From anywhere, we just search where are the human footsteps, and we follow the human. Then we reached a stream or something where we can get our food or this one. We go to some kutia in the forest. The Rishi Munis, how they used to live, you see. Anybody entering the forest, they will see the footpath in which the people have walked, and we follow that. We go to a safe place like that. Even animals, we want to see, suppose a tiger has come and gone, where the tiger is, where from it came, we follow this slowly, this footsteps and see it is there in somewhere in some cave. Its footsteps. This is Sajjana footsteps who have reached the ultimate goal of human existence, the attainment of God. So Ramchandra is telling, walk along that path of self-control, of sacrifice, of minimizing the external physical activities and diverting all the energies in spiritual practices that lead you. Follow the Shila, the noble way of living. Sattva, the next one is Sattva Sama Mohimaya Jagadekha Mota Santa Adhika Karilekha. Sattva Sama Mohimaya Jagadekha. Lord is not satisfied by loving Him. He is not satisfied with being in the company of God, living a life of seclusion as if all these years of your sadhana, you were doing some activity of service to some people within your range and then calling upon me. The nature is pleased, I am pleased, the Divine Mother is pleased, and I am also pleased with you. But this will not do. You have to go beyond. You have to go beyond. Now you see, He wants the Lord Himself has become the whole universe. God has become this universe. From the absolute, the relative existence appears in absolute. Though it is a mere speck in the absolute, mere a small grain in the vast, limitless existence of Satchidananda. In Satchidananda, millions of universes appear and disappear. We are in one of the universes, which is but a small speck. Yet, it has originated from the Absolute. It is manifestation of the Absolute. God has manifested in the form of universe. This we call immanent aspect of God. The transcendental existence of God beyond the universe. What is beyond in the universe? In which the whole universe appears and disappears. That is the Brahman, the Varuni, the Bhrigu. Bhrigu in Taittiriyopanishad it comes. Bhrigu, the Varuna's son, goes to his father Varuna and asks, what is that Brahman? A small boy who has learnt the Vedas a little. He wants to know what is the ultimate absolute existence in which the whole universe appears. What is that absolute? The father says that cannot be explained. That is beyond mind. That is beyond senses. Senses cannot perceive it. Mind cannot conceive it. Intellect cannot discern it. We don't have any instrument by which we can perceive God, the absolute existence, in His aspect as absolute existence. So, I will give you a formula. That formula, if you follow, you will reach that. And he says, Yato va imani bhutani jayanti, yena bhutani jivanti, yat prayantya visamvishanti, tat vijignyasasva, tat brahmeti. He says, think of all these beings and all this material world that you are seeing. Yato, from where does these appear, this universe and all beings? Yato imani bhutani jayanti. Yena bhutani, in what it is, what sustains its existence. Universe is there, what is sustaining its existence, in which it is sustained, and into which it dissolves back. Again emerges out. Yato imani bhutani jayante, yena bhutani jivanti, yat prayanta visamvishanti, into which it goes back, dissolves in again. That is Brahman. You go and learn what it is. Go for tapas. You go so on contemplating. Then he says, from Anna, all things it is appearing. We eat food, and this food is getting converted into all this. What innumerable beings are coming just by the food they take. Then he goes to Father, Annam Brahmeti Vijanada. Then Father says, yes, you are right, but it is not complete. Go again and do the tapas. Again he goes and comes back as Anna is there, but if energy is not there, I cannot even digest or eat. So energy is necessary in my body. The pranas are necessary even to digest and get the progeny. So all these beings are appearing because of the energy that I have. So he comes back and says, Pranam Brahmeti Vijanada, Prana Devasa Bhutani. Because of the prana energy, this all jivas are coming into existence. He says, yes, but it is not yet complete. Go back and do tapas. He goes back and Mano Brahmeti, if mind is not there, I have energy, I have no, this one, but I cannot beget children or family or this one. So mind is the cause of all this. He says, yes, this is also true. No, it is not yet complete. He goes back and again enters into tapas. Years and years pass and again he comes back. Oh, he discovers Vijnana Brahmeti. The jnana must be there. I must know what it is. I must know what I am doing. I must know, I must have. Then he says, yes, it is not yet complete. Then he goes and comes out saying, Anandam Brahmeti Vijana. He understands, but he comes dancing in ecstasy. Father doesn't tell anything. He has known the whole universe as manifestation of that. Satchidananda. The God has become all this. God is the supporter. God is the one who has become this whole universe. The universe did not come out of anything, but that Satchidananda. It is manifestation of the Satchidananda. Then he understands what is that. He realizes from where this universe and all beings are coming, which is sustaining it. The existence belongs to the Absolute. This is only, just like the dream world that you see, it is made up of mind. Mind is the cause. From mind, this dream world appears in dream and dissolves back in. When you wake up, the whole universe goes back and becomes the mind. So, like that, the whole universe appears. It is manifestation of God. The universe is manifestation of God. When you know it is, you will understand what is that Ananda, independent of joys and sorrows of life. This we see, and here the Lord is expecting you to know that Sattva Sama Mohimaya Jagadekha. See this world. I am pervading it. I am maintaining it. I have become this universe. Mohimaya. This is Ramamaya. You have to see this world as Ramamaya. Every object is pervaded and they exist, it is existence because Rama is there in everything. Mohimaya. See, this whole universe, it is truth. I have become this universe. I am pervading and sustaining it. After creation also it must sustain. It must exist, continue to exist. A thought comes in my mind, disappears. Same thought I cannot maintain, sustain. Suppose I am able to sustain. Suppose I think of Sri Ramakrishna. And can Sri Ramakrishna remain constantly in my mind? Can he constantly be in my heart? How do you sustain it? Only through love. Intense love can sustain it. Here, the universe is created, and what is sustaining it is God is pervading it. God is pervading your existence. You are there, you are existing because the universe is existing, and the universe is existing because Rama is existing. You are part of this universe. You are existing because Rama is within you, pervading you, yourself, your own bodily existence, your mind exists. All these things are existing. The universe is existing just because Rama is pervading it. Rama is the substratum who is holding it. Rama is the what is holding it. And Rama is giving existence to all that exists by pervading it. Pervasion and Adhara is Adhara and Adheya. Adheya is what has become Adhara. So both are the Lord. So you are seeing me independent of universe. But now learn that this universe also, otherwise your knowledge, I have reached you, you have reached me, there ends. You are seeing me as a person, personal God. But I am not limited by this personal God. I have the absolute, another aspect which you can reach. I am here in this universe as an all-pervading reality. So Rama wants Shabari and others to know him, what he is, independent of the limitations. He has come in limited form, taking now Sri Ramakrishna. When we think of Sri Ramakrishna, in the beginning, he was a person who was born in Kamarpukur and who left his bodily existence, the mortal coin in Kasipur garden. This is the history. But does it end with it? Was it the beginning of his existence? He existed all through. Through this limited bodily existence, he appeared to take you to the beyond, to make you universal, to make you expand and be one with the universe. So the more you try to see God as all pervading, you will know yourself that God pervades everything and you. He is not limited by anything. God is unlimited. So he has various aspects. We can, in human form, we can realize as him as the Brahman, the absolute existence, the ultimate reality, the transcendental aspect of God. God has become this universe and pervading it and is the substratum which is holding it. So God is immanent in this universe. God is transcendental. God is immanent. God has come in the form of avatara. He has taken a human form and appearing before you. He is not limited. Though he has taken a form, he is not limited by form. He exists as the absolute as he was. And he is existing here. Just name and form he has taken for your sake because you are not able to conceive or enter into the absolute. You cease to exist there. So God comes to avatara. Then still deeper we see, yes, he is there in every heart as the indweller, the antaryami. So God has transcendental reality, God has immanent reality, God as the Ishvara, controlling and governing the whole universe, God as the Avatara, the incarnation, and God as the Antaryami. He is the indweller. In any aspect of God, you realize Him, you are realized. To know all this is to know the maximum human understanding of God, to know Him in all aspects. So you have seen Rama now as a personal God, a person that has God has become in the personal aspect. But now you know that I am not limited by this personal form of as Rama that I have come to you. But see me in everything now, every grain of sand, in every object, in every jiva, I exist. See, view me in a different dimension. Don't limit me to anything. I am unlimited. I am full. I am Purna. So, God wants to show His Aishwarya also. You are mine. Know me intimately, more and more, more and more. So we'll continue in the next class. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.